Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Lamb Talk. And Stuart Tracy from Pirogue Grill in Bismarck, North Dakota, is our esteemed guest this morning. Welcome, Stuart.
Welcome is a great word to start the day. It's been beautiful here in North Dakota, and we're looking forward to maybe getting a little snow here soon, but nothing like a blizzard. I'll take your summer, though.
Yeah, yep. Well, we always said, even as farmers, we can always take a drought in the winter.
I suppose, but you do want to have snow coverage, I think, don't you? At least when you're getting closer to spring.
It is good for the crops that overwinter.
Yeah.
It gives them a little bit of protection from the very, very cold weather.
Yeah.
But if you're going to have a drought, the winter's the best time to be having it.
Yeah.
So, Stuart, how's the restaurant going? And give us a little bit of background on how you got Pirogue Grill going.
Well, the restaurant, we're in our 6th year at this point in time. We've seen numerous increases, nothing like a huge peak in a valley. So it's been fairly consistent growth, which I'd almost take over peaks and valleys. You get those types of things in each year that you're open. You'll have your slow months and your busy months. But just coming out of December, which better be your busiest month of the year with Christmas parties and the like, we ended up the year 2011 about even with 2010, given the fact that we had flooding issues for 3+ months, and much of our client base was, or not much, but quite a few of our clients were displaced or having to extend themselves thin, taking care of their properties, and going out to eat probably wasn't the first thing on their mind, especially when they're all of a sudden living in number 3 trailer park in a small town of Minokan, something like that, rather than on their riverfront property. So
Right.
We did see a little softening there from June through the end of the year. Other than that, we'd have been up about 8%. But with the restaurant itself, it's been a blessing to me because I can continue to cook in a style that I've gotten used to over the years. So I've been cooking for 30+ years, and professionally speaking, I suppose since 85. So the restaurant itself is kind of an extension of me and the way that I approach food. The menu has some regional focus and also international flavors, because prior to opening up the restaurant, when I had time to travel, my wife and I would travel quite a bit. So we got used to understanding what going out to dine is all about, and then also utilizing different flavors, getting used to Asian cuisines and Mediterranean cuisine, and so those influences have found their way into the Pirogue Grill's menu itself.
Right. Now, you take quite a strong regional approach to your menu. How does that influence both your customer and how you approach your food buying?
Well, I think from a customer base, there's been the movement to be local if you can. And, we stretch the word local in North Dakota to include probably the Midwest region. It's such a short growing season, and we are members of 2 community-supported agricultural farms that supply us with produce. But you're not going to start seeing much until late June, and then it'll kind of peak around Labor Day here in the States, which is first weekend in September, and then it'll slowly dwindle out, and you may still get some product through the month of October. Depends on what the CSA's planted and how that harvest went. So utilizing those for more of our daily specials than the bulk of the produce and the bulk of the items that we need to operate a 70-seat restaurant. The fact that farm to market has been an important part of people's idea set when they go out to dine has contributed to, we did have some national publication back in 2007 from Gourmet Magazine that listed us as one of the 100 best farm-to-table restaurants in America. So it was very humbling for myself and my wife to be included in that and to receive those accolades.
Very proud moment.
It was, and still is. I'll market that to death. Believe me.
Fair enough too. Now, in full disclosure, my connection with Stuart is when I was living in North Dakota. I was direct marketing the lamb that our farm produced to him, and he was my first restaurant to become a client, and I'm proud to say my very best customer.
Well, thank you.
And we have a wonderful relationship from that, don't we, Stuart?
Yes, it's been what it had to be back in like 2006 or 7, I think, that we talked. It had to be 2006. I think the story, you'll tell it better, but basically you called me up and introduced yourself to me and said, "Are you interested in local lamb?" And I was like, "Sure." Well, could I drop some samples? And you were at my door within few minutes. I guess you were parked outside or something like that, weren't you?
Yeah, I had you recommended to me, and so I parked outside the front doors and called you, and you said, yeah, drop it right round. So I waited a few minutes and knocked on the door, and then it took a little time. You tried the lamb out, you liked it, and we found it comfortable with the cuts and everything. And eventually you said, Kate, you really should bring it in the back door. And I'm going, oh, you have a back door?
Yeah.
That's the extent of my knowledge in the restaurant business at that time.
Well, that's when people apply for a job. If they're knocking on the front door of a restaurant, that's strike one. To me, it's like, come on, guys. Come on, gals.
I'm glad you didn't kick me out of the ballpark.
But I think, the recommendation that you got from us based on whoever you were talking to, at that point in time, we'd been utilizing some local beef. We still use our local bison that's raised in North Dakota. And let's extend that local to, this is a big state. We're, 300 miles east to west and 220 north to south. So kilometer-wise, what are we at? 420, 450 to 300. And the local bison isn't like 5 miles away. It's a little ways away, but it's raised here, it's slaughtered here, aged here, and then shipped to us. And same with the beef. Now we work with a certified Angus beef providers that can I look at the cut of beef and say, okay, that was North Dakota? Well, no, but it's certified Angus beef, of which there are numerous ranchers in the area that are part of that program. So you try to do what you can, and I think with the CSAs and with what you introduced us to with the lamb, it's been a real positive experience.
Wonderful, wonderful. And has that helped your customer base, or has it just reinforced the quality of your reputation?
I think it's both of those. By customer base, I just had a phone call the other day from somebody out of state that's going to be in town in a couple weeks. He wants to make a reservation because he's searching on the internet, and he's made the comment, I really like the idea that you're using local ingredients. Okay, well, we got local flax, local honey, local bison, local lamb, beef, certified Angus beef program. So those types of things are important to not only the people that live within the community, but the people that are utilizing the power of the internet to find you and pick you over somebody else. Right.
Now, from the producer's point of view, Stuart, what's the best way for them to be in a position to help supply you? Is it producing good quality? Is it the cuts that you need? Particular proteins? What if a producer's listening in the area, what's the best thing for them to be doing to be in touch with you?
Well, I think from a producer standpoint, we've got to be able to have consistent quality. And so, you look at quality first. The fact of the matter is that, would I love to say I can use a local rancher that's within an hour distance of Bismarck? And the practicality of it is you can't, because I'm going to be using, I would need to have 4 animals slaughtered every week just for me, and I'm going to take the prime cuts. I'm going to take the tenderloins, the New Yorks, maybe the ribeyes, something like that. So then the producer is left with everything else. And I think, that's a situation that you've struggled with when you have, you're giving me the lamb loins, but you still have your front shoulders, you still have your legs, you still have your trim, ribs, things like that, you have to have that value. And so the price that I pay might be a little higher just because I want those premium cuts. Now, can I create value with cuts that are less tender, like a front shoulder or something like that? Absolutely. And I think that's what differentiates my cooking or what I'm able to do with product versus somebody else. I like to say you can find any 18-year-old stoner that's going to cook a filet. But can you actually take the trim that you've been collecting for a month and create this beautiful lamb ragu that you're going to serve on some homemade pasta? And you can go international, you can go Mediterranean flavors with it, or perhaps you want to do some Indian spicing with the cumin and the coriander and turmeric and cayenne and things like that. So, I think from a producer standpoint, it's for us, it's quality. And also the availability of the product, because if it's going to go on the menu all the time, then you need to have that source.
Right. Well, and from a producer's point of view, it was a challenge supplying you with the best cuts and being left with everything else, which is the majority. Mm-hmm. But you have to get really creative. And I think in the end, we did have a successful relationship where I was, in fact, selling everything else and still managing to just keep up with you, which was really good.
Yes, and believe me, I was appreciative of that.
Well, there were moments, but it all came out in the wash in the end. Yeah. Now, from your customers' points of view, or from your point of view, servicing your customers, what's your approach there?
Well, it's don't mess up what you've done for us. If it's lamb, it should taste like lamb. Sometimes the most beautiful things are those that are simply presented. Keep it simple, keep it fresh. Sometimes where I get probably a little more heavy-handed with spicing and things like that are when you have to do the slow braised items that require maybe a little more than just salt and pepper. But to be honest, when we serve the lamb that you got us into, we're salt, pepper, sear it off in olive oil, finish it in the oven, bring it out, slice it up, serve it with a sauce that we make with the carcass from the bones and a little, this right now we're doing an apple mint sauce with that. We've done rosemary and garlic sauces. We've done mint charmoulas, things of that nature to just help complement what the producers have given us rather than mask anything. Right.
You're making me hungry, Stuart. What time's dinner? It's a long flight, but
it's a long flight. You got 14 hours plus you got to go through security. So
yeah, and I think the security's the worst, isn't it?
I don't know. After about 8 hours on that flight,
Yeah, your legs get pretty stiff, don't they? Yeah. So, what have you got coming up in the future, Stuart? For something different, new approach, anything in the wings?
I think that'll be up to our clients somewhat. And until I'm proven wrong in what we do, we're somewhat flexible in the way we can write our menu, and whether we want to add or delete things. The market in this area right now is still strong, the dining out market. So, we're going to ride that wave. Bismarck, Mandan's a growing metropolitan area. The amount of people that have become regular clients of ours continues to grow, and I don't see myself going to the drawing board and changing anything at this point in time. I'm old. It's like I know what I know. I put meat at 6 o'clock, starch at 3, and veg at 9 on quite a few items, and the molecular gastronomy push has not really found its way into my repertoire at this point in time. Doesn't mean I won't learn, because I continue to learn, but probably just scares the pants off me.
Well, just keep doing what you're doing, because it's fantastic.
Thank you.
I've had the pleasure of eating at your restaurant, not on a lot of occasions, but on a few, and it has always been an absolute pleasure.
Great.
If I can be allowed to digress slightly and recall my very first meal at your restaurant, I was quite heavily pregnant with my youngest, Eugene, and I was in a black suit, and your lovely wife took us to the table, and it was white napkins, and she disappeared off and came back with a black one so I wouldn't get white lint on my pants.
Yep. And
that really struck me as so attentive to detail and out of character in North Dakota that it has stuck with me all these years.
Good. Yeah. Because it's attention to detail, whether you're farming, sheetrocking, electrician, a doctor. It's details that are done correctly that add up to success, and failing to prepare is preparing to fail. So it's when I have one of my staff members that doesn't prep their station right, all of a sudden you're scrambling. And I said, how much do you really like prepping while you're cooking too? And then like, sorry, chef. But it's one of those things, and it's all the details that go into our restaurant that we've seen throughout the years of our travel, that when we built the restaurant, the bathrooms are nice.
Oh, they're lovely.
I don't like going into places where things are dirty and looks like they quickly put a coat of paint up on the wall, or you buy a little aluminum trash can from Walmart or whatever. Come on, guys, you can do all these things and still wipe your glasses, wipe your silverware, give black napkins to the people that are wearing a black suit or black pantsuit, whatever. They all add up. So when you're competing for your slice of the dining out dollar, that's why we make a difference in that respect. So
yes.
Glad you remember that.
It's stuck in my mind. It is such a wonderful thing, because also to me it wouldn't have mattered. I'm not that way, but I can see that it would have mattered to some people. And the fact that it didn't matter who the customer was, you got that same level of service. And it just made a big impression on me.
Good.
Yeah. So no, keep it up, Stuart.
We're trying.
Keep it up. You're a total asset to the dining experience in Bismarck, North Dakota.
Good. Thank you.
Oh, my question pinged right out of my mind.
That's all right. You were going to ask me, what did I learn at culinary school about lamb, right?
There you go.
There you go. Nothing. No, we use probably just the rack lamb. I mean, come on, that was 25 plus years ago. I don't recall. But I'll tell you my little quick story. Before I went to culinary school, I was cooking and going to a local university of North Dakota, and Little River Band from Australia was playing the Field House, which was sold out, 8,000 people, and a buddy of mine was the head of the concert committee, so I got to cook for the Little River Band. So I had I was like trying to research Australian cuisine back in like 1979. And resources at a library were pretty limited, but I did put together some type of a lamb stew that they thought was pretty good, mate. You know, I had that and prime rib and a couple other things like that. But that was my first experience with lamb. Other than, you know, maybe once or twice growing up, my mom might have tried to cook it, but probably to not much success.
Yeah, it seems to be the big bad ogre of proteins, doesn't it?
Yeah, and people ask us, well, I don't like lamb. Well, you know, when did you try it? How was it prepared? You know, yes, there is a certain flavor profile within the fat that people have this memory of, but even a well-made mutton, you know, to me, almost, you know, it starts to go along the lines of goat. I can eat go to a Southwest restaurant, a Mexican restaurant, something like that, and have a wonderful goat enchilada, and I could do the same thing with the mutton. So it's all, you know, with the care that goes into it, and if people know what they're doing when they're working with it.
Yeah. Well, it always amuses me that people won't give lamb a second chance, but if they get a tough steak, the chef just screwed up. But they'll order steak again. Yep. Yeah. But they never give lamb a second chance. No. So it's a little bit of a shame, really. So the Little River Band and a lamb stew was your first experience with lamb.
Yes,
really?
It was. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, what a fantastic combination!
Yeah, it was. What a great show it was. It absolutely was. Now they're doing the concert tours at the little casinos around the States and stuff like that, and I have to chuckle because I remember when like everybody was standing up, hitting their lighters for them coming out and doing an encore with Lady, and it was like, yeah, we rocked.
I think we must be getting older.
I am older. But I've been to New Zealand. My wife and I have been to New Zealand twice and absolutely loved it. So we've been to the North Island, South Island, both.
Tell us a story from there.
Best fish and chips in the world on the west coast of the South Island. I can't remember what town. We took the train from Christchurch over to, Greymouth?
Greymouth, yes.
Yeah. And then I think it was a little community north of Greymouth. We went clockwise, spent some nights in Abel Tasman National Park, and just absolutely killer fish and chips. That's one of my memories from there. And then we went to we went to an Irish pub on St. Patrick's Day.
Oh, somewhere. That would have been fun.
Yeah. So we were there in late summer. And the North Island, probably what's the town with all the hot springs? Rotorua.
Oh, Rotorua.
Yeah,
yes.
Rotorua. Yeah, you know.
Yep.
Very
our
fun
little
there.
Yellowstone.
Yes. Yeah. That was beautiful. Beautiful there. I mean, both North and South Island. Gorgeous.
Yes, it's a beautiful country, but to be this beautiful, it has to rain a lot, and that's what it's been doing. Raining a lot.
Yeah.
But I have to remind myself that why it is so beautiful is because it rains a lot.
Yep.
Otherwise, we'd look a lot more like Australia.
Yeah, well, that's why there's 85% of their 90% of their populations within 2 hours of the coast. Something like that.
Yep. Well, I don't think anyone lives more than 2 hours from a coast.
Yeah.
Because 2 hours puts you in the mountains. Yeah. So then it's either a trip down one side or the other. Yep. We were up 2 hours north of Auckland, camping on a beach with some friends and getting out of the rain. Auckland was raining again yesterday, but up north it was beautiful. Consequently, my face is suffering a little this morning. Good thing we're not on video.
I put a jacket on just in case. So
yeah, put a hoodie on. I've gone to the other side. So, what's your favorite recipe, Stuart? Now, I know you do an awesome lamb burger in the bar at the restaurant,
Yep.
and that gets rave reviews. But is that your favorite, or have you got another one?
There's a restaurant in Vancouver, British Columbia, Indian restaurant called Vij, V-I-J. And my wife and I ate there one night, and the next day I was going through a market, and I found his cookbook. And the night we were at the restaurant, he did the little lamb chops with fenugreek cream curry sauce, and with some turmeric new potatoes, and sure enough, the recipe was in the book. So consequently, going through his book, everything I've ever made from that, because believe me, I plagiarize very often, whether it's magazines, books, things I see. And if someone says that was great, I'll go, well, look up Bon Appetit September 2010, you'll find the recipe. Or, look at Vij, his buttermilk lamb curry with cumin and coriander is absolutely wonderful. So it would be probably some type of a curry from his book would be one of my favorite recipes. And there's numerous ones, 2 or 3 that I've done out of that.
Okay. Would you be willing to share that with us in an email so we could post it on the podcast?
I'd have to write it down, but I could probably do that.
Could you do that? Would that be asking too much?
No, it's not, because, like I say, I plagiarize, so... I have my certain things that I'll do a little bit different sometimes with certain recipes. And not so much to say, okay, now it's my recipe. It's just, maybe the flavoring I want to go a little different route with. But
right. Well, different territories swing one way or the other with a seasoning. So,
yep.
You need to tweak a little bit.
Yep. I'm not going to make Thai food as hot as a Thai person might enjoy or something like that. It has to be scaled back to Midwest tastes. Exactly.
And sometimes we're just thrilled that people will try, and so you don't want to knock their socks off and put them off. You want them to sit back and go, wow, that was a fantastic experience, and come back for more. And then maybe they'll stop when they're in another town and see a Thai restaurant. They'll stop and try and develop their taste buds some more.
Yep.
So now, Stuart, you have a website, www.piroguegrill.com.
Correct.
And you update that fairly regularly?
Mondays we put our weekly specials up. And that's about all the computer challenge person like me can handle. I don't really mess with the verbiage and the pictures and things like that, like some people can. Our weekly specials go up on that, and then when we update the menu, we're able to update the menu items too.
Right, and you have a newsletter too that you send out, don't you?
No, that would require too much discipline on my part.
Well, what is it that I receive weekly then?
That's that's through Constant Contact. I send out a weekly special to people that sign up through our website, and they'll get our weekly specials that way also.
That's okay.
And sometimes we'll put in there, little verbiages about what might be happening at the restaurant, whether it's, a special menu for New Year's Eve like we had, or coming up Valentine's Day. Yep.
And that's when you also talk about what your CSA vegetables are and how you're using them.
Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And that's a nice way to stay in contact with your regulars.
Mm-hmm. It is, and it was amazing to me when we started it. We have about 1,300 people that get that weekly now, and I assumed everybody opened them. Well, not everybody, but 50%, and no, we're a little above industry average of about 22-24%.
Yeah, it's a little disappointing, but on the other hand, I think what it does is it goes into their inbox and it reminds them, even if they don't open it.
Yeah.
It reminds them, oh, yeah, okay. So then I go, oh, well, maybe I've got so-and-so coming in from out of town. I'm going to click on and see what the menu is and reserve a table.
Hopefully.
Excellent. Is there anything else you'd like to talk about, Stuart?
Not that's on my mind. Other than, I wish I was in New Zealand for summer right now.
Yeah, well, you've got somewhere to stay now.
Yeah, you never know. Might happen.
Well, it might just have to happen, right?
Yes.
We want an open door policy for any North Dakotans
There you go.
to come and experience my homeland.
Well, it is beautiful homeland, and we wish you all the success. Hopefully, the people that bought your flock have already dropped a shipment off, and everything was just as we need it. So, there's the bugaboo with me would be if something started to change there. But at this point in time, I don't see it. So that's great.
Excellent, excellent. That is good news. So North Dakota will be still being able to eat quality local lamb.
That's true. As long as they come to Pirogue Grill.
Pirogue Grill, excellent. And Stuart, thank you so much for your time and effort today. I know you should be in the kitchen prepping for tonight, but thank you for taking the time out of your kitchen and visiting with us for this half hour. It was awesome. It's been awesome working with you, supplying you, and all the best for the future.
All right. Thank you, Kate.
Goodbye, and see you around the block.
This show is produced by Wild Inspire Media.